A game I haven't heard about in a few months now, but is one of my more anticipated games of the year, is 6 Days in Fallujah. We talked about it earlier this year when we got a couple of trailers dropped in February and March, but with an overall lack of information and a campaign to get this game shut down spreading across the internet again, because if there's one thing for certain on the internet nowadays is if a group of people don't like the premise of something in media, the natural course of action is to just shut it the fuck down at all costs, full scorched earth. I find myself wondering what's going on over at Highwire Games, developers of the reboot of 6 Days in Fallujah, and I want to talk about it. If you guys like the video, leave a like down below, subscribe for more videos. We just hit 221,000 subs, and we're growing here every day. So back in February, we got the first announcement trailer showing real footage of the scenario of the Siege of Fallujah. The trailer shows real-life Marines, soldiers, Iraq civilians who fought against Al-Qaeda in what historians call the toughest urban battle since 1968. So we saw some cinematic gameplay shots of soldiers kind of crossing streets, entering houses, and clearing them room by room, and it really gave the sense that the unknown on the other side of the door is the scariest part of this game. That idea that close quarters engagements are lethal and teamwork is completely crucial to your survival, that appeals to me at my core. This is the kind of FPS game that I myself have been waiting for. If the game features the ability to play co-op with my friends while we move from house to house, if that's present in the game, I'll be in love. But not everybody on the internet, of course, feels this way. So shortly after the announcement of the reboot happening, a petition was created calling for not only the cancellation of 6 Days in Fallujah, but for game developers and publishers to start taking responsibility and carefully consider the toxic Iraq-related games that they may be working on. Now that second point to me could have some merit, as I believe everybody should be looking inwards and strive to create art in many different ways, and that may be one way to do it. Look at what you're creating and see if it aligns with the vision of what you're trying to create. Fair enough. However, where this whole thing loses the plot for me is when you read pretty much any other excerpt from this petition. The main quote being, bombing, shooting, and humiliating the Iraqi people is being normalized in this sick video game, which will also inevitably condition gamers into thinking racism is okay. It's just a bullshit fucking opinion. I know racism is alive and well in this world, but I do find solace in the fact that up-and-coming generations are far more accepting of all kinds of people. You know what helps kids feel more accepting of others? Education, not censorship of media you don't fucking like. This petition was pushed by plenty of industry veterans like Osama Dorius, the lead designer of Gotham Knights, community managers from Unity and EA, UI artists for Rainbow Six Siege, the whole nine. I even saw the narrative writer for Rainbow Six begging people to create fictional stories that don't exploit real suffering, as if Tom Clancy's stories weren't based on real-life depictions of war, espionage, and that same suffering you're talking about. I guess that's why Rainbow Six would rather shoot alien swarms now instead of breaking up terrorist cells in the Middle East. It paints a really vivid picture of where we're at as an industry. The whole controversy reminds me of when Modern Warfare showed off the Clean House mission at E3. You guys remember that? It was like a behind closed doors meeting. You could watch the game play out, and everybody at IGN just shit their pants because it looked so real and was a disgusting display of video game violence. Even though Modern Warfare was the best AAA FPS I've played in years due to how good the game felt. To me, it really just shows how out of touch I am with the modern gaming industry, and not in a bad way. It just shows that the games that I grew up playing and where I really found my love for this industry, those games just don't exist, at least anymore. But after all this, at the end of the day, I respect everyone's right to voice their hatred and disgust for a project, but I find calling for its cancellation just to be ridiculous. I even saw a tweet from someone who claims the person who created this petition, her name is Hala, lost it at a manager of a store 15 years ago for having the game Desert Storm on their shelves, most likely referring to the game Conflict Desert Storm. As somebody who's also played through Conflict Desert Storm when I was a kid, I agree, that shit was fucking trash. Shouldn't have been sold at all. 6 Days in Fallujah has the opportunity to create something really, really special. A close quarters FPS set in modern times, breaking away from games like Battlefield, Call of Duty, or even games like Squad, and they can take that space all for themselves. I think this is why gamers are really excited for games like Ready or Not. It's co-op, close quarters, gritty. There's real life scenarios that these soldiers or SWAT members or whoever have actually gone through and face every single day. Is there a moral gray area about killing Iraqis in video games? Maybe. The whole scenario of war in general, in my opinion, is really fucked up. But as a civilization that's been rooted in watching movies and consuming entertainment, watching movies like 13 Hours or Hacksaw Ridge, watching and consuming that entertainment that tells a real story from the perspective of someone who was actually involved in the scenario, it's something that we've always done, and I hope that we still continue to do. My hope for Highwire Games and Victura, the publisher for the game, is that they continue to work on the game and release it when it's ready. Don't fold to the pressure of the modern gaming industry, and the most important thing is this: don't feel bad when your peers in this industry turn on you. You may feel like you've been thrown under the bus when you see other devs calling for the cancellation of the product that you're working on. Don't fret. They're some of the same people who have bastardized and neutered all of the franchises that we, people like myself, grew up and loved as kids. Rainbow Six, Ghost Recon, basically anything made by Ubisoft in the early 2000s. You have the power to bring us back to the glory days of gaming. I'm not saying 6 Days in Fallujah is going to be God's gift to gaming, but it is a little slice looking back at the last 15, 20 years of FPS. 6 Days in Fallujah is a little slice of the early glory days. There are thousands of people chomping at the bit to play your game, and as long as it's good, you have no problems here. There's a larger discussion to be had about the crazy amount of censorship in modern media, and trust me, I could go the fuck off on some of these topics. Everything from Netflix TV shows censoring and deleting episodes of my favorite shows like Community to video games themselves. I could talk about it for hours, but that's not what this channel is about. I talk about games, I talk about the industry, and I talk about things I like and I don't fucking like. And all I was thinking about today when I woke up is, what the hell's going on with 6 Days in Fallujah? I wonder when we're going to hear more from the developers or the publisher, and I hope that I get to see this game come to fruition, or fruition, sometime soon. My name is Bigfry. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, like it down below, subscribe for more videos, and if you guys want to support the channel at a higher level, 99 cents a month, it's only $12 a year. You guys can just click the join button, support the channel, so I don't have to take ad sponsorships or anything else that you guys don't really care about. Appreciate you guys watching. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on the next one.